What's going on today, YouTube? So, allow me to welcome you to my new page. Now, on my previous page, you know me as, your homie, Big Sea Dog. However, on this page, since this page is going to be more focused around Yu-Gi-Oh! And my view and opinion about the subject, I'm actually going to go by a name that I use on the Yu-Gi-Oh! Wiki site, which is Dragon Master 90. So there's no need for me to do the whole, big self-introduction video, because those who are familiar with my old page already know how I am. But I decided to make this page because I stated in my last video on the Big Sea Dog page that I was going to take a different direction with my videos and my discussions. Instead of discussing, conspiracy theories and my thoughts and opinions about, what's going on in the world and all that good shit, I was going to focus more on the subject of Yu-Gi-Oh! So instead of constricting that to that page, I am going to, basically what I'm doing now, I am starting a brand new page under the handle Dragon Master 90. So, welcome. The other page is still going to focus around the occasional topic of Yu-Gi-Oh! But I'm going to lean more towards my original idea with that, as far as like the conspiracy theories and my thoughts and opinions on different matters. So, a little bit of history I'll give you in this video as for why I chose that handle for both the Yu-Gi-Oh! Wiki site as well as this new YouTube page. It's to say it has a lot to do with my love for dragons would actually be a big understatement. Because it actually has nothing to do with that. This has more to do with my particular monster type of choice when it comes down to the Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game, basically being dragon type. I don't just deal with straight dragon type decks. There are decks that I run that have a splash of like the dragon type in it, such as the Galaxy Eyes deck that I run. You heard me talk about it in my last video. Here's the thing. I consider myself to be a dragon master because of the fact that I can take your typical dragon deck, like a deck someone has lost faith in. I will use the Galaxy Eyes deck as an example because it was just relevant over a year ago, before the whole 60 card deck thing came out, before the whole Zodiac bullshit came out. I hate Zodiac with a burning passion. I give her a lot of props because it's actually a very good engine, but I hate it. Plain and simple. I will get into that in a later video. But I take decks that were relevant in the past, whether it's a year ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, whatever, and I try to revamp it and redesign it to where it can be used on a competitive level in today's meta. That being said, I have redesigned the Blue Eyes deck. I've redesigned a Red Eyes deck. I have ran all of my redesigned decks through YGO Pro. They haven't seen competition. My Galaxy Eyes deck at what I would consider full power right now has not seen like a local tournament or a regional tournament yet. But it has gone under extensive R&D with the help of YGO Pro. It has faced Dinos, it has faced the Dino True King, it has faced Zodiac, and as many different variations of Zodiac as you can think of. While it's not the best of deck to go up against every variation of Zodiac, or, the fact that I can't get certain combos popped off within a certain amount of time, with like the True King Dino and the True Draco center decks, as well. It is still a very good deck. I have actually made quite a few Zodiac players, for example, rage quit with me on that deck, and 9 times out of 10 I only have to pull out either Cyber Dragon Nova or Cyber Dragon Infinity, and they're done. That's it. The variation of Galaxy Eyes that I am running right now, you typically have your players who run like the Galaxy Eyes Cypher, Galaxy Eyes Felgrand, Galaxy Eyes Cyber Dragon engines. I've tried the Galaxy Eyes Felgrand engine. I do not like it. It is probably even more inconsistent than just a straight up Galaxy Eyes deck, which your straight up Galaxy Eyes deck typically has a few of the Photon monsters in it, like Thrasher, Crusher, Photon Satellite, shit like that. I've tried it with the Cyber Dragon engine. Now, I do like Galaxy Eyes with the Cyber Dragon engine to an extent. It's still very clunky. I've also tried it as Galaxy Eyes and Cypher. Again, not the biggest fan of that particular hybrid of deck. Not for Galaxy Eyes anyway. So what I have done with Galaxy Eyes thus far is I have taken the Galaxy Eyes engine, the Cypher engine, and the Cyber Dragon Infinity strategy, and I have fused it all into one deck. This is a 53 card deck that I am running. Some of the other monsters in my extra deck are, of course, some of the Galaxy Eyes. Well, actually, minus the fact that Cypher Blade Dragon has just been announced to be a Shonen Jump promo, which I do intend on getting a subscription so I can get that damn card. I have basically every Galaxy Eyes monster in my extra deck. Prime, Neo Galaxy Eyes, Neo Tachyon, Tachyon, Neo Cypher, Cypher, Full Armor, and Dark Matter. Do I use all of them? No. But I have them all in there in case I need to fall back on one for any reason. Some of the other monsters, of course, you already know I run Cyber Dragon, Nova, and Infinity in this deck. Well, sorry, in my extra deck. I also run number 23 Lancelot, number 38, I think it's like Hope Harbinger or something like that. I refer to it as number 38 because for the life of me, I can never remember his whole name. And I do run a Felgrand monster in my extra deck. It's the only Felgrand monster in the entire deck construction, and that is Divine Dragon Knight Felgrand. I run Lancelot, number 38, and Divine Knight because of their effects. They have pretty beast-ass effects. Number 23, Lancelot, I don't summon it very often because it is a must-activate effect. So I don't really summon it as often because, say I summon it and I have my Cyber Dragon Infinity out. I don't want to, go to activate Infinity's effect and have Lancelot instantly negate it. But at the same time, if I'm facing down an opponent who has, like, say, Crystal Wing on the field, Crystal Wing goes to attack, activates its effect, where it gains the attack points of whatever monster on the field. Lancelot's effect automatically activates, which will then trigger Crystal Wing's effect of destruction. I can then chain Crystal Wing's effect with Infinity's effect, thereby destroying Crystal Wing, stopping the attack, and still protecting my Lancelot. Sorry. Had a slight brain fart there for a second. The cipher cards I run, like the typical cipher recipe for the deck would be, like, I don't know, I think it was like 3 copies of Cipher Twin Raptor, like 2 or 3 copies of Mirror Knight, like 3 copies of Cipher Wing, and a couple of copies of Cipher, I think it's Stranger. Stranger is non-existent in this deck. I have probably 5 or 6 copies of Stranger in my entire collection, which spans 5,000 plus. But Stranger does not hold any kind of spotlight in my deck. With Stranger, I found that even as a 40 to 45 card deck, it was clogging the deck up entirely too much. The cipher recipe that I run in this deck, if I remember correctly, is 3 Cipher Twin Raptor, 2 Cipher Mirror Knight, and 1 Cipher Wing. Again, I don't focus my strategies around summoning my Cipher Galaxy Eyes. As a matter of fact, my typical strategy, if I can get everything to line up in my first draw for my typical OTK, all I need is the following: 1 Galaxy Soldier, Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon, Galaxy Knight, and then we'll say just a couple of random cards. We'll say Galaxy Wizard, and since I run 2 copies of it, Galaxy Sage. Okay? A typical strategy is, get Galaxy Eyes in the graveyard ASAP. And that's what I do. I send Galaxy Eyes to the graveyard, summon Soldier. Use Soldier's effect to search another Soldier. At which point I'll send, let's say, Galaxy Wizard to the graveyard. Summon the other Soldier. Before I overlay my 2 Soldiers for Nova and then later into Infinity, summon Galaxy Knight, bring Galaxy Eyes back. Overlay 2 Soldiers, summon Nova. Overlay Nova, summon Infinity. Overlay Galaxy Eyes and Galaxy Knight for Prime Photon Dragon. And that's the only thing I need. For those of you wondering why that's all, because say my opponent has 1 monster on the field, just 1. Rare to see, but we'll say just 1. I use Cyber Dragon's effect, take it as an overlay unit. He gains 200 points per overlay unit. Attack with Infinity, dropping my opponent down to 5,100 life points. At which point I go to attack with Prime. Prime's effect activates. I get rid of 1 overlay unit. He gains 200 attack points per rank of every Xyz monster out on the field, including himself. He is a rank 8. That is 1,600 points off the back. Cyber Dragon Infinity is a rank 6. There's another 1,200. Giving him an attack total of 6,600 points. Instant win. Even if the opponent has a card out, just 1 card out, that can stop my attack, like Quaking Mirror Force, Magic Cylinder, whatever. I use Cyber Dragon's effect, get rid of an overlay unit, negate, destroy it, bam. Opponent's done. Um, that is just one strategy. That is my OTK strategy for this deck. I stated it in the last video that I put up on the Big Sea Dog page. I'm going to state it again in this video. I will be doing a deck profile for my Galaxy Eyes deck eventually. I don't necessarily want to do one right now because I am still researching into the deck. Again, my plan is to take this deck and bring it back to its glory as a very competitive deck. As part of that, I am researching into Link monsters. Will I need to replace some of the cards in my extra deck? Yes, but it will be well worth it if I can bring back the Galaxy Eyes deck. And I fully intend to. A friend of mine has given me some information about a set of Link monsters that is supposed to release I believe he said 6 months from now, called the Vollet monsters. If any of you are familiar with that, please drop it in the comment section below. So I am researching into that. I will be rebuilding both a Blue Eyes and a Red Eyes deck, because again, I want to bring these decks back, and this is what makes me, in my eyes, a Dragon Master, because it takes, in my personal opinion, it takes someone who is fully dedicated to a certain particular type of monster, or even a certain type of deck, to really want to sit there and put in the endless hours of researching, developing, and testing these decks that makes them able to call themselves a master at any level. Someone could come up and say, hey, I'm a warrior master. First thing out of my mouth is, why? I'm a fiend master. Why? Fiends are another type of monster I will be looking into. Because, like many players in the game, I believe, fiends have definitely been getting overlooked for quite some time. I know they had a little bit of hype back in like the original anime series for Yu-Gi-Oh! What was Summon Skull and Dark Necrofear and things like that. I know they got a little bit of their hype back in the GX series with the release of the 3 Sacred Beasts. I haven't really heard too much on them since. I will be looking into a way to bringing life into the fiend type monsters. If anyone has already found a way to do that, please drop it in the comment section below. I will gladly take any advice, any stories, any experience any of you have on the matter. But yeah, like I said, I'm still doing research into the Galaxy Eyes deck. I will be rebuilding both the Blue Eyes and the Red Eyes deck. Hopefully I'll be able to bring them back into the competitive scene. Although I do know they are still being played competitively to this day. I don't know why they are and Galaxy Eyes isn't, but whatever. I am currently doing some R&D into an Odd Eyes build. Still working on that though. So, let's see, we're about 20 minutes into the video or so. So, I'm not going to drag this on any further. I think I kind of got my point out to you guys as to, why the channel was made, the name, all that good shit. So, as always, if you like the video, press that like button, slam it. I love seeing my notifications light up with, hey, you got a new subscriber, hey, so and so like your video. My overall goal is to one day wake up, go to check my notifications, and see, like, hey, you got, I don't know, 100 likes or 100,000 likes or something like that on a video. That would be awesome. To wake up one day and see, hey, you got 10 new subscribers. That'd be fucking awesome. It really would. But I'm in the starting out process. Still in the starting out process. So, as always, if you like the video, hit like, subscribe to the channel. Please let me know in the comments what you think of the video, and again, any stories, experience, anything like that, any suggestions on what I am doing to try to contribute into the Yu-Gi-Oh community, please let me know. Until next time, YouTube, this is Dragon Master signing off. Peace.